I recently had a call from a beginner catfish farmer who complained bitterly about starting his catfish farm. According to him, he lost majority of his catfishes starting his business, and the money he made out of it wasn't what he expected. So yes, in this video, we are going to look at some of the things you're supposed to take note of when starting your catfish farm. So you out there who is interested in starting a catfish farm, you won't do such mistakes as the beginner did. So this video is going to enlighten and going to share some experience with you about starting a catfish farm, some detailed information you're supposed to know about it. If today is your first time seeing me, my name is Charles, and on this channel, I do talk about farming, share ideas about agriculture. Yeah. This video is sponsored by TundeLaniran Farms. They are into the sale of farmlands. For you out there who is interested in starting your own farms to get them to buy, their farmlands are very affordable. So do reach out to them. Details will be in the description side of the video. Let them know the type of crop you want to grow on the farm, and they will advise you on the type of farmlands that you're supposed to get in their various locations that they have in Nigeria. So yes, contact them for your farmland needs. Everything will be done for you peacefully. Everything will be done for you in a good way that you not have any litigation when it comes to farm land acquisition. So yeah, reach out to TundeLaniran Farms for your farmlands and start your own farms today. All right, let's get into the video. When starting as a catfish farmer, one of the main things you're supposed to take note of is the type of catfish you begin with. And talking of type of catfish, I'm not necessarily looking at the breeds of catfish, but whether to start with fingerlings or starting with the juveniles. Fingerlings are the small ones, small catfish that are like produced fresh. The juveniles are a little bit bigger than the fingerlings. They're a little bit grown and matured to start with. So yes, as to whether to go for the fingerlings or the juveniles. Now, as a beginner, what I recommend that you start with will be the juveniles. Why do I say this? Going with the fingerlings are too small. And as a beginner who know nothing about catfish farming, when you have to go with the fingerlings, it will be difficult for you to take good care of them, to make them grow from that point in time to the time that they mature. Most people who start their catfish farm with fingerlings, out of the 100%, I'll say 60% kind of are able to do that, and the remaining 40% are not able to do that, to grow their catfish from the fingerling stage to the juveniles. So yes, if you are starting your own catfish farm, I wouldn't recommend you to go with the fingerlings. Fingerlings are too small, they require more attention to take care of, and they can easily die easily. They have to pay more attention to them at that point in at that age as compared to you taking care of the juveniles. So yes, with the juveniles are a little bit bigger or a little bit mature than the fingerlings. In terms of pricing, the fingerlings normally go for 1 cedi. The juvenile depends. Some might sell it 1 cedi, 50 pesos, some might sell it 2 cedis for you, depending on where you are acquiring them from. So yes, one of the main things you're supposed to start as a catfish farmer when you are going into the catfish business is, from my perspective, don't go with the fingerlings. You are now starting. You have to learn more, get more experience before you can be able to grow or start with the fingerlings. Else, you would end up losing majority of your fishes, and the returns or what you expected the business to be wouldn't be such for you. Yes. So yes, my main advice will be start with the juveniles. Go in for the juveniles first. At least from there you can be able to learn how to go about them. They're a little bit mature. You'll be feeding them from time to time to the time that they mature in like 6 months time. So yes, that's it for the first one. Choose the juveniles over the fingerlings. The second point I would like to talk about will be the water you use for your fish farm. So yes, most people start their fish farm. Others use pipe water to do their fish farm. Others use borehole water, spring water, well streams to start their own catfish farm. And it depends on what you are using. If you use pipe water, it means you are going to incur a lot of cost in raising your catfish. If you use borehole, it's a little bit, you reduce your cost a bit if you use the stream or well. So normally depending on where your farm is and how you want to go about it and the type of water you want to use. Catfish survive in every kind of water that you use. It depends on have specific kinds of treatments that you have to give some of the water. So let me give an example. So with the pipe-borne water, for instance, if you are to raise your catfish using pipe-borne water, normally some of these water contain a lot of chemicals that can be harmful to the fishes. So what you have to do is you have to get them in a storage tank, get some sun rays to be on it to help kill the chemicals or let it settle down for some time to reduce the chemical content in it. Then you can channel it or pump it into your catfishes. If you use them directly, at times the water is not that stable. You might end up giving pipe-borne water to the fishes that contains a lot of chemicals that might cause harm to them, or that might enable you to lose some of your catfishes. Also, those who use the borehole or the spring water, at times it contains too much salt, and at times too, yes, they can be a little bit harmful to the catfishes. So that one, to let it settle down, you reduce the the salt content in the water before you channel it to your catfishes. So some of the water, it depends on the type of water you have and how you go about it. But I advise that yes, if you're using it, make sure you treat the water quite well to enable the fishes get the fresh water without chemicals for them to be able to be healthy. Also, what I would another important aspect of this is that most people normally hardly change their water. If you are going into the catfish business, one of the main key things is has to be constant supply of water. Their fishes, their natural habitat has to do with surviving in water. So yes, the water you give them is very, very important. People normally don't change their water regularly. So you have people who go like a week without changing the water, and it's not good. They stay in the water, they do whatever, they produce waste and everything in the water. So regularly they are supposed to change the water for them. At least you don't have to reduce costs. I'll say 2 or 3 times a day, try and change the water for your catfishes because it helps them be able to stay healthy. Once the water is fresh, the catfish are able to breathe well, grow well in it, and at least survive, thrive in the water that you provide to them. So yes, changing of water is very, very, very important in catfish farming. Make sure that always your water, you change the water looks fresh for them to be able to survive in the water, in the habitat they give them. Whether you're going to a pollution pond, whether you're going to a concrete pond, whether you're going to the dugout or like the mud ponds. Yes, make sure that you try and change the water regularly to enable them thrive in the water, be able to survive and have clean water for them to grow well. So the next point will be quality feed. Feeding is very important in catfish farming. When you start your catfish business, one of the most important things is feeding. So now, people normally incur a lot of cost when it comes to feeding, yes, because cost price of feeding is quite high now. So for you to get the right amount of food to feed your fishes, you're not supposed to get you spend a little bit more to be able to get good feed for your catfishes. Now, if you want your catfishes to grow well, also depend on the number of times you feed them, the type of feed that you use in giving those catfishes. So yes, feeding is very important. If you want your catfishes to grow quite thrive well, grow well, as you are giving them fresh water, you're looking at the feeding too. Yes, the more you feed them, the more it enables them to grow well and at least gain a little bit of waste adding. So yes, the type of feeds that I recommend to you guys would be yes, we have the foreign feeds and have the locally made feeds. Just two different kinds of feeds that we have. I would recommend that when you are starting your catfish farm, give your catfishes start with a foreign feed for them. You can give them screeting. That's an example of the catfish feed that we have. So the foreign one. Start with that. Feed them with it for 2 months. Let them be acquainted with that. So the reason why you are supposed to give them the foreign feed is that one, the foreign feed contains a lot of proteins, a lot of nutrients that are good for the fishes for them to consume. So once you start with a good feed for them, see within a span of like 2 months, they begin to grow bigger, they begin to grow healthier. Then, if you want to cut down your costs, you go down to the locally made feeds. Some of the locally made feeds that we have are mostly produced in Nigeria. So yes, you can get some of these feed for yourself for the fishes. But yes, I would recommend that once you are starting, giving your fishes the foreign feeds are very, very important. It enables them grow bigger and healthier within the span of the 2 months. Then, as time goes on, if you want to reduce your costs, then you can put them on the locally made feed for them. If you are starting with the juveniles, the size of the feed you are supposed to give them will be 2 mm. So if you are buying the feed, let them know you are going to feed for the juveniles and the size that you want is a 2 mm. You don't want to give them a bigger size of feed that when they eat, they will choke on it. So when they are starting, you have to make sure you take very note of this. The feed you give them are very important. If you're using fingerlings or you're using the juveniles, the feed you give them are very small for them to be able to eat and consume that. As they grow and get bigger, you start to get the bigger form of feed. So they are in pellets in different sizes. So when you're going to buy your catfish feed, make sure that you buy the right feed. The person you're going to buy from, you can, if you don't know much information about it, you can inquire from the person you're buying the feed from. Let them know the type of size you have, and they recommend the type of size of feed that would be good for them. This is very important, so you don't feed fingerlings or juveniles with larger size of feeds like the 5 mm, 4 mm, and stuff. So the small ones for them, so they're able to consume that and eat. So the foreign feed I recommend to you are Coppens, Skritin, and Ziegler. Yes, these are foreign feeds that contain a high number of proteins that are good for your feeding your catfishes at the beginning. So when you are starting, you can start them with maybe the Skritin, for example. You can start your catfishes on them, the juveniles that you start with on them. It enables, they contain a lot of nutrients that will enable them grow healthier or grow a little bigger early. Then you can put them on the local feed. Some of the local feed that I can recommend to you are Blue Crown, Top Feed, Eco Feed, and Vital Feed. Yes, these are some of the locally made feeds. Most of them are produced in Nigeria. So yes, if you want to source them, you can get some of them from Nigeria. You can get some of in markets around you as well, because they normally ship some of these things to other African countries. So depending on where you are and where you want to start your catfish from, like start your catfish farm, these are some of the local feed you can get. They're a little bit cheaper as compared to the foreign feed now. So yes, in terms of feeding, these are some of the detailed information that can help you to go about your feeding. You can decide to feed your fishes twice a day, 3 times a day, depending on how you want them to grow fast and mature quickly for you to sell. You understand? So yes, that's how it works. Feeding is quite expensive now. So yes, as you are starting your catfishes, it's best to know how you know your expenses, how you really want to go about it, and how you prioritize some of the feeding that you give to them. Others decide to feed them once a day, but if you feed them once a day, it means they're not going to grow big quickly as you want it. So others decide to do twice a day, others decide to do 3 times a day. Yeah. So depending on your budget and how you want your business to go about it, and how you introduce your feeding to your catfishes. But it's advisable to start with a foreign feed. Then as time goes on, you put them on the locally made feed. So the last point I would like to talk about has to do with the space for your catfishes. Now, often than not, people get some sizes of tarpaulin, sizes of maybe concrete, built sizes of concrete ponds, or even the mud ponds, and they stock the catfishes a lot. Imagine being in a room with a lot of people in there. You can't even breathe. You can't even feel comfortable in your own space that you are. So yes, that same also applies to catfishes. When you are going for your own catfishes or starting your catfish business, make sure that the space you get for them are enough for the catfishes to thrive. If you talk of, in terms of tarpaulin ponds, there are different sizes of tarpaulin ponds, and the ones that can number of fishes that can be able to stock them. If you are building a concrete pond too, you also have that. Even in a mud pond too, yes, depending on the dimensions that you have and number of fishes. Make sure you give the fishes enough room, enough space for them to be able to swim or to be able to feel free and live in. It enables them to be free, it enables them to eat well, it enables them to grow and have their own peace of mind in there. And all this builds into the growth and how big they become. So yes, spacing is very important. For those who don't know, I have tarpaulin ponds that I sell to catfish to new beginners who want to start their own catfish farm. So yes, there are German tarpaulin ponds. If you reach out to me, if you need some of the tarpaulin ponds, we'll let you know the sizes of the tarpaulin ponds that we have and the number of fishes that can stock them with their various prices. These are very affordable, so that all my viewers who are interested in starting their own catfish farm can get some to buy. So yeah, just send me an email at entrycharles26@gmail.com. Details will be in the description side. Let me know. We give advice on how to go about your catfishes, how to start. If you need tarpaulin ponds, everywhere you are here in Ghana, we can get the tarpaulin ponds to you. Where you are coming to you, it's quite affordable. We do the installation and everything for you at no cost. So at least these are quite not pricey. So people who want to start or venture into the business can also go and start it. So yeah, reach out to me. Quality tarpaulin ponds. That's for you. If you let me know the number of quantity you want to start with, I'll let you know the sizes of the tarpaulins that you have, the size of tarpaulin I was also get with the number of catfish that can be stocked in. If you need any advice too, we can help you with that in starting your own catfish farm. So yes, details will be in the description side of the video. Send me an email. Let's have a conversation. Let me know the number of fishes you want to start with and we also advise you on how best to go about it. Installation cost is free. We deliver wherever you are. I bring my guys there. They come and build, put up the pond for you, and you have it to do it whatever connecting that needs to be done in your house or on your farm for you. And yes, you can start your own catfish business. So yeah, do if you need assistance with that, you do reach out to me via email and let's have a conversation around that. Details also will be in the description side of the video. So yes, spacing is very, very important for your catfishes. Make sure that they have good enough space for them to thrive, for them to be able to survive, for them to be able to grow well in. Another important point, that's like a bonus point, is that you have to also do regular sorting of your catfishes. Now, sorting is where you'd if you have like a tarpaulin pond that you have a number of fishes in and you keep feeding them, they are aggressive animals. Some will become bigger than others, even just like human beings. We all, maybe two people might eat the same quantity of food. There are some who will gain weight, others who will not gain weight, depending on how they are built. So yes, sorting is very important for your catfishes because it enables you to separate the bigger ones, those who've gained weight, from the those who have not gained weight, or the smaller ones, for them to be able to concentrate on them, also feed them to get to the size of catfish that you want, to the 1 kg standard size of catfish that you want. So yes, sorting is very important, especially if you are about to sell your catfishes. You have to sort them out. Let them know before the buyers come to your farm. Sort them. Have those who are above 1 kg in a particular pond, and those who are less than the kg, the size smaller ones too, in a different pond. Concentrate and feed them to also grow, to also get to that particular size of fishes that you want. If you clamp all of them together, there are some who will not survive. There are some who, the bigger ones, will always eat the food before them, and they might grow lean and they might even die. The bigger ones might even consume the smaller catfishes. Yes, they are cannibals like that. They can eat each other. So yes, make sure you separate them, you sort them out. At least every month, try and sort them out. Others will go for maybe 3 weeks to know the size and stuff. I recommend that every month when you're doing your catfishes, try and sort them. Sort the bigger ones from the smaller ones and concentrate in terms of feeding on the smaller ones. Give them more feed, you want to grow and gain weight to the standard size that you want, or sizes that your buyers, your target market wants. Then you can sell to them, also get a good price that you want for your catfishes. So sorting is very, very, very important. One of the essentials in starting your catfish farm. All right. So yes, that draw the conclusion to the video. Let me know. I believe and hope this video will be helpful, so that all individuals who are starting their catfish farm will be successful. You will end up losing majority of your catfishes, just like my colleague who started this catfish farm and complained a lot about how he lost a number of them. So yes, I believe this has been helpful. Let me know in the comment section what you'd want to know in terms of catfish farm. Maybe I left something out. Let me know in the comment section. If you're already into the catfish business too, you have some ideas to share that can help some of the viewers watching this video, just put in the comment section so we can all get to learn about it. Helping each other is the way to grow. You conceiving the information is not going to help anyone. It's not going to help the growth of aquaculture in Ghana. So yes, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Share this video to anyone who wants to start their own catfish farm. So who needs some information that would help them. Share it to them so they also get to learn and make a decision whether to go into the business or not. I believe this video was helpful, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.